Hello, everybody. Okay. I wanted to talk about a story that Rachel brought to my attention in People magazine about the Jackson family. And no, I'm not talking about Michael Jackson. I am talking about four very brave, very mistreated boys. Their names were Keith, Michael, and Tyrone Jackson. Those are the three boys. And Trey. And here it is. Okay. These boys were taken away from their parents due to neglect and abuse, and were actually adopted out to this family who had biological children and foster children in their home at the time. These four boys got adopted into this family, and this family was not poor by any stretch of the imagination, if I understand correctly. And these four boys were not physically abused, but emotionally and, well, no, they were physically abused. They weren't fed on a regular basis. The only thing they were able to eat was pancake mix, uncooked oatmeal, uncooked grits, and they had only 2 minutes to eat their food. Only 2 minutes, and if they didn't finish it, it would be thrown away in front of their faces. Now, the reason this actually got, the reason why the media got a hold of this and the way authorities got involved is because the next door neighbor, I believe, he was sitting on his couch watching TV, and he heard something outside. He looked out his window, and there was a 19-year-old boy picking through the trash. And he reportedly at the time weighed 45 pounds at 19 years old. 45 pounds. He wasn't being fed properly. Also, later on in the article, it states how, where is it? But authorities searching their home in Collingswood, New Jersey, found teeth marks on window seals and walls. Evidence, they say, that the boys had gnawed on insulation and drywall to ease their constant hunger pains. Adding to the cruelty, the Jacksons' 4 biological children and 3 adopted foster girls were fed normally. Now, I'm not sure if this is a racial issue. The boys are black. I don't know if the adopted parents were white or not. Once this actually came out and about, the father has since died. The mother pled guilty and I think is getting 4 years in prison, which isn't long enough. She should be locked up for life for abusing 4 innocent children like that. The bitch should be gone for the rest of her life. But this other family just adopted 3 of the boys, and they're working on the 4th. And now the social workers are getting investigated because all this is going on. And whenever you adopt a child or you have a foster child, and see, this is what baffles my mind, is the social workers are supposed to be checking up on these children, especially the fact that they have 3 foster children who they haven't even adopted. And authorities are finding teeth marks on the wall and on the window seals. These boys are at 19, 45 pounds. That is not normal. You know, so the social workers weren't checking up on these boys. They weren't checking up on the other 3. And these poor kids were taken out of an abusive environment and put into one that was not much better than the one they came from. And, you know, this really baffles my mind that, you know, children are going through this. You know, that the state, that the government is not keeping track of these children the way they should. And that is an issue. The adoption process, you know, needs to really... I don't know if it's the process or if it's the social workers that are the problem. It's probably the social workers that are the issue. But these kids have been through to hell and back. And why? Two times in a row, these kids have been through from their biological abusive parents to an adoptive abusive parents at the age of 19 not being fed. Um, you know, I don't understand this at all. I don't, I'm really just baffled by the whole thing. Now what I'm going to read to you is one of the boys' stories. This is him, okay? We were always hungry. Sometimes we got fed once a day. Sometimes it was two, sometimes it was three. You never knew when it was going to happen. Most of the time we had dried oatmeal, dried grits, and pancake batter and canned vegetables. Nothing was ever cooked, and they would never wash the bowl you ate out of. Sometimes you would get a sandwich, but there'd be a time limit. One of us and said there'd be a time limit. One of us and said, "I'm going to give you 2 minutes to eat your whole meal." Okay, we had two sandwiches, and we're in there shoveling sandwiches down our throats, almost choking, and nothing to drink the whole time. She's counting, and she said, if we get all the way down to zero, and you're not done with your food, we're throwing it away." One time she got down to zero, and she actually took the food right out of her hands and threw it right away right in front of us and said, "Get out." Okay. Rachel, I'm not done yet. We'll close the door. Um, this bitch needs to have her uterus ripped out. Okay? She needs to have her uterus ripped out. She needs to have her cooter sewn up. She don't need to have no more kids. She don't even have contact with kids. This is not a mistake. You do not mistakenly or accidentally not feed a child. Okay? She pled guilty. 4 years in prison isn't long enough. Okay? What do you guys think about this? Pick up this magazine. It's the People magazine, Vanish Without a Trace. It's in here. It's called From Hunger to Healing. It's an amazing article. It's really, really good. You'd be astounded. Please go pick it up, read it. Leave comments in the comment box. What do you think could fix this situation? What do you think the government and the state can do to keep this from happening to another family? What do you guys think?